These are the meditations of Kantis. On today's meditation, like, share, subscribe. Now, chosen ones, especially today, I'd like to speak to the male chosen ones, the man chosen one, or the chosen one who is having the experience as the masculine, the embodiment, the physical embodiment of the masculine, the Son, S-U-N of God, who's also the S-O-N. Now, you see, chosen ones, on top of just being a chosen one, given the task of embodying the physical, the masculine physical principle, being light, because a man is light, you will find that as you move through your life, you will encounter a lot of women in many different domains, not even just in an intimate setup, but you just moving through life. And because you are who you are everywhere and at all times, you will find that there's a lot of, it could be older women especially, not that you deal with them too much, even though if you are a chosen one, especially a old soul, you maybe are drawn to those types, but not as much when you awaken, you're more drawn to, maturity and a person who's well developed, just like you, or on the path of that. But you'll encounter a lot of women, especially older women, who have been going through their years, decades, man, pretending that they are a man. You see, the absence of having a man or having that constant, supply of light that a woman needs from a man leads them to develop a certain. They now want to be the man that they never had, so they start to embody whatever whatever aspect of manhood they think it is. It could be they pursue a lot of wealth. It could be they maybe even go to the gym and they want to they desire subconsciously to develop a masculine, appearance. You'll see a lot of these women as they grow older, they almost start looking like a man in a sense. Straight up, why not for the dress or how they wear? You would not know that this is a woman actually, and this is a cope. Okay, now why do you even give a fuck about this? Well, when they encounter you, it's clear what they are. It's clear what they are. You didn't say a word, you didn't say anything. It's clear what they are. Okay, because chosen ones and especially empaths. Okay, you you love what you are, even down to the practice of manhood or womanhood. That's why I said when they try to make these accusations about you being down low or homo, it's just a contradiction, because most empathic people who have ever seen, especially, they are very either feminine if they're a woman or masculine if they're a man, and this tends to balance them out. By leaning more into who they are, it somehow weirdly balances themselves out. Now you'll encounter a woman in so many different settings, man. It could be even on the street, man. You're walking and you're on a certain path, and then maybe a woman comes on, and now you guys are coming towards each other, and there's that weird, who's gonna, who's gonna give up the space and move across the street, and and it really doesn't matter. It's something small and insignificant, but you will see how much it means to them, whether they are the one who moves or you're the one who moves. You will see just how it matters to them, because they have to keep up this delusion. They have to win every small battle against every man that they've ever met, so that they can keep lying to themselves that either men are weak or whatever, to validate their choices or validate their reality, whatever it is. We don't really care. The only reason why we care is because when they meet us, they try to bring us down. You can see the sun is cooking me right now. May it continue to do so, man. It was cold. That's the only reason I even made this videos, because I've met so many, women who are like, it's like they meet you and they're like, fuck this, hide somewhere. They almost want to, they're looking around, they don't want anyone from their own place to see what an original what an original real man looks like, because they've been lying to themselves, men are this, men are that. But then when they encounter you, even you bring out a certain woman in them, they are trying to hide this thing. They don't want it to come out, They could have done these things for years, 60 years. You'd find women in their 60s, man. 67. and you have no, there's zero sexual you are moving, you could be just moving like the way I'm moving right now, minus the recording, and they're over there, and you'll know it if you're a chosen man. That's why, I speak to you, because if you can't relate, you can't relate. But it's very interesting that, the energy of a chosen one, you can break patterns that people hold in, and there's such profound patterns that people hold in their head, because it's very important for that, you know for that 40, 50, could be even 30. Some these days you might get even a 25-year-old, you know because femininity needs to be protected by the masculine force. So when it lacks this, a lot of women end up saying, I've seen it even in real time. I've had destiny swappers who are women. you know I met this chick, and she's, nice girl wearing, you know, dresses and whatever. Then kidogo kidogo, she's now has multiple tattoos, wearing leather boots, wearing shades like me, because, you know, whether they want it or not, the feminine principle is very drawn to power. So they know that, that's how nature made it. You know, the sun right here. That's why the earth revolves around the sun, not vice versa. Okay? So when they meet you, you kind of break certain, delusions in their head, and it's just reality facing them. So they don't know how to react. So they might attack you, they might try to demean you. I've seen them, even my own family. They've tried to dominate me in some way or conquer me. And I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna, come out of my classic character, nigga, pinky out. You dig what I'm saying? Pinky out, nigga. Ting. You remove them like a something. Oh, there's something on my teeth. You just ting. You remove it. Oh, it's like this sweat. Where's the sweat? Was there any? Oh, there's some here. There's nothing. You just remove them. You don't even have to. This is just you, so that when it happens, you know what's happening. Oh, this is a woman who has been deluding herself that, men are like this, men are like that. If you have money, you don't need a man. Then they meet you, and something inside them, it could be the genital area, it could be their own hearts, it could be something you will do, embody. They will know. They will know that they don't make anyone feel the way you make them feel. Outside just, the sexual component, just the leadership, the clarity that you might have. So they'll go on the attack, man. They'll go on the attack. You'll be like, what is this? But now you know. And they'll go on the attack in a way that they want to come out of that interaction somehow making it seem like they're the powerful one. Maybe they have the last word. Maybe you guys don't have a smooth, exit from the conversation. It could be something subtle. And especially the more masculine you are and the more self-respect you have, they'll feel it. So they know women know these things. So they have to make it more and more subtle. And it has to be, it could be delaying from when you request them to do something just a second. And they have to, they're waiting. It's a countdown in their head. Okay, Ochani, he told me to do this. Let me count 5 seconds. And then he's a bitch in my mind. You told me to bring this, so I'll bring the same thing but of a different color or whatever. Something, they have to it's that serious, That's how fragile lies are. Can I repeat that? That's how fragile lies are. They might try to insult you. They might try to, they will do whatever their mind needs to help them sleep at night, so that they know they have a dick and you don't have. Pardon my French. they will they will try to make it seem like they're because that's how they move. So of course you're not dealing with such women, but you might be in situations you're like, this is not a narcissist. Although most of them are narcissists, one evil leads to another, one virtue leads to another. So you'll almost always find this narc type of women. And let me say, I've not said that you've gone, you desire them in any way or whatever. No, you are moving with your own life. It could be a shop, it could be a supermarket. You're just going to buy your stuff, and now the cashier there has seen a man. She's now in her late 20s, late 30s, mid whatever, 40s, 50s. She's just a woman who has never been under the constant and consistent feeding program of a real man. She's not in the rotation like the sun is, the earth and Mars and Jupiter. All these things are under the rotation of the sun. They are not constantly receiving that light from a man. It's more than just money, okay? They're not receiving that light because women are vessels at the end of the day, even if they are chosen, okay? Which makes, being a man who's a chosen one, it increases the responsibility. But as I wound up this video, chosen ones, protect yourself by more and more awareness. You might be, because even as we speak about the narc stories and how they get triggered, whatever, and how they are everywhere, you have to understand that it goes deeper. You could trigger someone based on very different things, and with experience, you kind of want to understand each individual trigger that you inflict, and let me reiterate, by doing nothing, just existing, you don't even know these things happen. It just comes to you. Now you have to assess it because you're like, what is that? Like you're moving through somewhere and then a beak passes and you're like, whoa. That's now I'm telling you, don't even whoa, like don't just let it. Yeah, you're like, okay. Now, and once they meet you, it's gone. That's how powerful you chosen men are. Once they meet you, it's gone. They'll know, it doesn't matter how many weak men they deal with, and they delude themselves that they are the man, that they are this, because they need those lies, even though what they feel is starvation. Okay, so don't allow them to try to play any games with you, and they can only play games with you when when you don't know yourself. Even if they play games and they win, whatever winning is for them, because you know who you are, it will never go anywhere. Okay, it will not give them that satisfaction. The ideal satisfaction, if it really would be, for them to take your pardon my French again, your dick, your masculinity, not just the physical one. That's what they would dream about, is that if they would leave you somehow, you don't even want to be a man. You want to wear dresses tomorrow or something, that's how, because you just existing at the back of their mind, when they're in that pit hole, that they've lied to themselves that they are no men, these men don't this, you existing proves to them that there is, that whatever they desire is you. This is beyond even just their conscious desires, what their body yearns for, what their soul yearns for, what their inner sides, their insides, not just the physical, their inside knows would lead them to a fulfilling and genuine interaction between a masculine and a feminine. But they cannot allow themselves to do this because, one, they're incapable of sustaining you. They know themselves. They know themselves. So it's you'll be alright, chosen ones. If you encounter that, you're like, why are this? It can be a bit weird, and you're a young man. You're busy doing your own things. Now you there's this older woman who you're not even attracted to, but somehow you can sense some vitriol in her. You're like, oh, maybe the last time she ever has a husband was 30 years ago. So she's been having to keep, so that she doesn't go crazy. When a woman doesn't have any type of, you know, consistent light. And not all men produce this light, mind you. Not all men produce this light, which is why in another video, which for my own standards, I said I wouldn't post it, because I said something like, I made a whole video about saying how, if you're not a man who loves himself, you and your girlfriend will be looking for me, or you will be looking for the man who loves himself. So you will be there with your chick, and because you don't love yourself, you will bring her to me, or you will bring her to whichever man around that area loves themselves. That's how nature works. That's how these love things, we tell you it's a joke, it's real. The realest, the most powerful things are of the 5D, of the emotional realm, the heart. you know so it's it's incredible, the journey of a chosen one, man. It's incredible because you just get different hits, I would say, different types of hits, like you know, like an explorer, those Nat Geo wild explorers who go through the jungle, and then they're seeing different types of poisonous snakes, poisonous frogs, birds. I don't know why they have to be poisonous. They can just be chilling. But you know seeing tigers everywhere, wherever, you're just learning about these creatures and how they are affected by your existence, chosen ones, by your existence. Let me reiterate, you did not do anything. You didn't even pull up to try and holler at them. You were busy minding your business, standing on the bus stop, buying some mindy choma. Huh? Then all of a sudden you can feel it. You can feel it like some breeze on, you can feel like this woman just wants to swallow you up because she's like, why did this man have to come here when I'm just in the most, I'm in starvation, and she's telling her mind things to keep her from, exploding. Men are dogs, men are this, men, and then she meets you, chosen ones. No, you didn't do You didn't do anything, man. You don't even know of our existence until, your intuition start, starts, starts to tell you, man. Starts to tell you. And now you're like, huh? What's that? You feel that energy, you're like, what? What is that? And you're like, huh? Then they hit like a radar. Oh, it's coming from here. Then you assess. Now imagine the couple of first times I encountered this, I was like, oh, you know. But do not allow yourself to be in the confusion I was, which is why I'm sharing this video. That's why, okay? There's some women here. This video is specifically for chosen men. Chosen men who respect themselves and love themselves. There's some women you will meet, most especially the ones who are slightly advanced in age, which does not mean that they are not attractive. They could be very, very attractive. But you see, we are now in the age of transparency. And the age of transparency means the things that are valuable, really, really valuable, can be seen. This is really valuable more than that, okay? And there's nothing more valuable than a man who knows himself, especially a chosen man, a chosen one man. You see, not only are you chosen, you are a man, because in nature, everywhere in nature you can see it's the masculine principle has been given the gift of leadership, the gift of emitting light. The chosen one, the masculine force in every animal breed, is the one who actually knows what they are doing, where they are going. They give direction. Okay, so they will come after you almost like, like there's a bounty on you or something, because your existence destroys every delusion that they will ever hold ever in their life. They could be 10, 20 years they are dealing with a man they don't even like or whatever, but in now, just because you exist, it's like, I know the truth. You become truth. Okay, you become truth. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like, share, subscribe. It will happen to you if you are a chosen one man, and you will be ready because you watch this video. Adios.